you know, the scandal talk, I'm a little bit bored with it. But watching Peggy Noonan try to justify herself is pretty worthwhile. Because Peggy Noonan, of course, has been struggling to remain relevant in an era where she has trouble buying on to the insanity that has become the Republican Party. And so these type of commentators really, when they think that they have an opening to align themselves with the loons, but also be considered not loony, they got to take it. And so that's what we're seeing here. This is a fairly brief clip. Here is Peggy Noonan actually put on the defensive by David Gregory, of all people. You know you got a scandal that's going nowhere when David Gregory puts you on the defensive.
Peggy Noonan, you wrote something this week that really struck me in your column on Friday, and I want to put it up on the screen and ask you about it. We are in the midst, you write, of the worst Washington scandal since Watergate. The reputation of the Obama White House has among conservatives gone from sketchy to sinister, and among liberals from unsatisfying to dangerous. No one likes what they're seeing. The IRS and AP scandals have left the administration's credibility deeply, probably irretrievably damaged. They don't look jerky now. They look dirty. The patina of high-mindedness the president enjoyed is gone. I have to say, Peggy, what you don't talk about here is an administration for a man that you worked for, who led the Iran-Contra scandal where they ran a secret war and lied to Congress and all the rest. Overstatement here?
I don't think so. I think this is what is going on now is all three of these scandals makes a cluster that implies some very bad things about the forthcomingness of.
Do you see what she's doing here? Like, she is going to try to increase the relevance of these scandals by speaking slowly and in broad terms. We have a cluster which potentially reveals the lack of forthcomingness. How can I take as much time to get away from the mention of Iran-Contra as possible?
The administration and about its ability to, at certain dramatic points, do the right thing. And I got to tell you, everyone can argue about which of these things is most upsetting. But this IRS thing is something I've never seen in my lifetime. It is the revenue-gathering arm of the U.S. government
Peggy,
going after political.
Richard Nixon specifically directed people to investigate, to audit people. I mean, of course we've seen it in our lifetime.
There you go. Peggy Noonan, I really want to be able to be embraced by the Tea Party, but it is awkward for me at parties in Washington to walk around with that patina so I can talk about the IRS in this way and they will embrace me and give me clicks that I so desperately need if I want to keep my job.
When I read something Peggy Noonan writes, that's also how I read it. Like, that's how she sounds when she writes, too. That's slow.
I got to give her a good, she was also doing the college kid that didn't do the reading thing. Like, she was doing the,
right.
Well, if you cluster it in a contextual setting, she was doing
I know
some of that.
I haven't answered the question on this book, but if we expand it to the notion of all books, there are elements of other books that I have read that sound like they might be relevant to this question. Oh, and class is over. I'm sorry. That was wonderful. When David Gregory can actually embarrass you, you know you've got a problem.